In this video, I will show you to configure parental controls to restrict internet access on specific devices based upon the time of day. First, we need to open up an internet browser. In this example, I have Firefox open, but Internet Explorer, Edge, Safari, and Chrome also work. In the address field, we're going to type in http://192.168.1.1 and then press enter. It's going to prompt us for a username and password. Both of these are user and they're both lowercase. So once we've typed those in, we go ahead and click OK. And now we're logged into the router. Your screen may look different than this, but that's okay. The concepts that I'll discuss are similar and you should be able to follow along. In some of our routers, this device info basic setup is over here on the left column. Now comes the hard part, identifying the device that we want to block. To block the device, we need to know its MAC address. MAC stands for Media Access Control. Now your router will tell you the MAC address if that device is connected either via wire or Wi-Fi. We can find it by looking at the router's DHCP table. So let's try that. We're going to go to Device Info, then DHCP. We want DHCP version 4. And you see that I have two devices connected to this router. Now the device that I want to restrict access to is Brad's iPhone. So we note the MAC address here. I'm just going to select it and copy it because we're going to use it later. And so now I want to block Brad's iPhone. So we're going to go here to Basic Setup. Then we're going to go to Parental Control. And we want to go to time restriction, and we want to add a time restriction. Now the first thing we need to put is a username, and I suggest you make this username descriptive. And so I'm going to call it Brad Phone, and then I'm going to, first restriction I'm going to set up as the evening restriction. So I'm going to say PM. Now we're going to select other MAC address, and I'm going to paste that MAC address in there, and I want to block it all the days of the week. And the starting time, we're going to do it in the evening. It's going to start at 8 p.m. So we're going to do 20:00, which is 8 p.m. and 24-hour time clock. And then we're going to restrict it to 23:59, which is 11:59 p.m. Go ahead and click Apply Save. Now I need to do the same thing for the morning hours. We're going to call it Brad Phone AM, other MAC address. Enter that. And we're going to do the same thing here. Now we're going to start at midnight, which is 0:0. And we're going to stop at 8 a.m., which is 0:00. And apply and save. We're going to repeat these steps for each device that we have that we want to restrict. Now, I told you that there might be a case where you don't know the MAC address. And the best way to find it is to go to that device, log into the ComTrend router following the steps we just went through, and you'll come to the basic setup again, go to Parental Control, and then we want to add another one. And this time we want to use the browser's MAC address, and that's the MAC address of the device that you're connecting to the router, which in this case is that device we want to restrict. And if you went back and if you remember from the DHCP table, this device, this 14 FE MAC address is the MAC address of Brad's laptop. So we're going to select Brad's, we're going to call the username, we're going to call it Brad Laptop. And we're just going to block Monday. We're going to block between the hours of 8 a.m. to noon. And just click Apply and Save. So now you see the devices that we've got blocked, that start and stop time, and you can enable them and disable, or you can remove these devices as you need to. Now I'd recommend that you go and test the device to make sure that it does what you want to do. Note that if the router loses power or is turned off, it can take 30 minutes to an hour for the router's clock to resync, that time of day clock. Those devices with a time restriction won't behave as programmed until the router's clock syncs with the correct time of day. When the power is turned off, the router goes back to January 1st, 1970 at midnight. Thank you for being an MVT customer. We appreciate you. Goodbye.